Yes, dear students, in this class we are going to discuss about the creative personality. What are the characteristics or what are the personality characteristics of the creative people? That is what we are going to study or discuss in this video, students. So, first of all, let us see what is personality. The personality is made up of the characteristics patterns of thoughts, feelings, and behavior that makes a person unique. Okay, so it is the sum total of patterns of thoughts, the feeling, the way you behave, that makes the person as unique. Each person is a unique, that means their personality is different from the one other. One person is personality is different from others. So personality is sum total of your patterns of thoughts, feelings, patterns of the sum total of pattern of thoughts, feelings, and behavior that makes a person as a unique. It arises from within an individual and remains fairly consistent throughout the life. Okay, so the personality is a stable characteristics. So relatively, it is a stable characteristic that will remains a fairly consistent throughout the life. So it arises from within the individual. Okay, arises from within. So character personality is the characteristic sum total of the characteristics patterns of the way you think, the way you feel, and the way you behave that makes the person as a unique. So personality has to do with individual differences among the people in behavior patterns. Cognition has to do with individual differences among the people in behavior patterns, cognition, and emotion. So the personality has to do with the individual differences. That is, each individual is differences from their behavior, their mental ability, their thinking ability. Okay, so in the behavioral patterns, their emotions, everything is different, different from one another. So, characteristics of creative personality, students. What are the characteristics of creative personality? So, the creative individuals are remarkably humble and proud at the same time. They are humble and proud at the same time. Creative individuals, to a certain extent, escape a rigid gender role stereotyping and having tendency towards the androgyny. So that is, the creative individual escape that rigid gender role stereotyping. That is, for example, like the men has to do this, woman has to do this, that gender role stereotyping. So generalizing the gender role, so they have tendency towards the androgyny, that is the mixture of feminism and masculinism, or feminism and the men and the female, that tendency towards the both having the quality of feminism as well as the muscular in the men, that is. So they escape from that, they try to extend to some extent they escape you know that traditional gender role stereotyping. Okay, stereotyping is nothing but generalizing. Okay, so next, generally creative people are thought to be rebellious and independent. They are little resistant, and they at the same time they are independent. Okay, so the generally creative people are thought to be rebellious and independent. So the most creative persons are very passionate about their work, and they can extremely objective about it as well. So they are very passionate about their work, they are very passionate, and they are extremely objective about their work. The openness and sensitivity create individual often exposes them to suffering, pain, yet also great deal of enjoyment. So they have the openness quality, openness and sensitivity of creative individual. They often they suffer from the pain, uh, yet they also deal with the great deal of enjoyment. They have these are the characteristics, the openness and sensitivity of the creative individual. Okay, the openness and sensitivity of the creative individual, that is exposes them to suffering from the pain, but at the same time they deal with the greater enjoyment. So a creative person can be identified through the certain personality traits. A creative person can be identified through the certain personality traits. Okay, through the personality traits. So new research has suggested, carried out by the Professor Ovid Marinston at BI Norwegian Business School. The study looked at the 481 people from the different backgrounds and used a variety of the tasks to assess creative abilities and the skills. Okay, a creative person can be identified through the creative personality traits. Okay, that is conducted in the BI Norwegian Business School. They studied at the 481 people from the different background and used a variety of the tasks to assess the creative abilities and the skills. It was found that seven permanent traits that can be used, seven personality characteristics, parameters that can be used to characterize the creative individuals are, they are imaginative, they are playful, and they are with the full of ideas. They are imaginative, playful, and full of ideas among the factors that contribute to the most to the creative thinking. So among the factors that contributes to the most to the creative thinking, among all other seven factors, they are the imaginative, playful, and the full of ideas. These are the most contribute to the creative thinking. The other main characteristics is the flexibility. Okay, having the ability to look at the different aspect of the issues. It is constant to the rigid. It is the flexibility, main they have the flexibility, have an ability to look at the things from the different perspectives or the different aspects. Okay, making the reminder of seven possible traits are, they are originality, motivation, ambition, low emotional stability, and low social ability, all of which serve to either influence creativity or spark in interest in. So this is the research with the findings of the research that is conducted in the BI Norwegian Business School. So they have done a study of the 481 people. So the characteristics are the originality, motivation, ambition, ambition, low emotional stability, or a low social ability. All are the characteristics which either influence them creativity or spark interest in it. Okay, so now the creativity creativity and the intelligence, students, creativity and the intelligence, is there is any is there is any differences in the in relationship between the creativity and intelligence. So the major question is, like, intelligence, are the creative people are just really smart, are creative people are just really smart? Intelligent defined as which intelligence on the basis of repeated observation of behavior in many situations, the entire domain of human cognitive abilities, that which IQ test measures. General focuses on the IQ, intelligent quotient, that is, to which the qualified observers, intelligence on the basis of repeated observation of the behavior. Okay, so intelligence is defined as intelligence on the basis of repeated observation of the behavior in many situations, the entire domain of human cognitive abilities, and where the IQ measures this. So the creative people are, perceived to be more intelligent than less creative people. Even in the samples were tested, revealed that there is no correlations that has existed between the creativity and the intelligence. There are three major categories of the people are described as a being, creative. There are three major categories of the people described as a being creative. One, people who are generally recognized to have a produced something of cultural value, low base rate in population, therefore the difficult to study and predict in advance. So the people who are generally recognized to have produced something to the cultural values, so the cultural values. Okay, and the people are designated as a creative because they perform well on their task. So these are the major category of the people whom we can call it as a creative. One, they are who has, produced something of cultural value, and the second categories are the people who have performed well on their task, and the third category, people identified as a creative because of their lifestyles and the attitudes. They are lifestyles and the attitudes. So these are the three characteristics of the creative people. People who are generally, they have produced something of cultural value, they perform well in the task, and they are, they are creative because of their lifestyles and the attitudes.